Ladies and gentlemen, every day is a new opportunity. That simple truth is often overlooked in the rush of daily life. People wake up, check their phones, and dive into routine without realizing the sheer power of the moment they've just been given. Each sunrise is a silent reset button. No matter how yesterday went, whether it was filled with failure, regret, pain, or distraction, today gives you another shot. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you felt broken or tired. It simply offers you time. It offers you breath. It offers you a blank canvas. What you do with it is up to you. So many people are stuck in their past, chained by what they didn't do, who they failed, or what they lost. But that's not how progress is made. Progress begins the moment you recognize the value of now. This day, this hour, this minute is yours. You can't relive yesterday. You can't jump ahead to tomorrow. All you have is right now, and that is more than enough. This moment is where your change begins. This moment is where your habits shift. This moment is where your dreams become plans. When you wake up, you're not just opening your eyes, you're opening your mind. You're opening your potential. The first thoughts that enter your head will shape your attitude. If you begin the day thinking it's just another drag, a boring repetition of everything that's gone wrong, then your actions will follow that energy. But if you wake up and recognize that you've been gifted time, air, purpose, and choice, everything starts to shift. Your body may be tired, your circumstances may not be ideal, but your mindset can be the one thing you control. You don't have to make massive leaps every single day, but you must move forward. Even an inch is progress, even a single good decision. To rise instead of snooze, to read instead of scroll, to take the first step instead of waiting for motivation counts. One small action taken daily transforms you, because when you treat every day as an opportunity instead of an obligation, you change the way you carry yourself. You stop waiting, you stop surviving, you start living with purpose. And you never know which day will be the one that changes your life forever. The day you meet the right person, the day your effort finally gets noticed, the day your idea clicks, the day your consistency pays off, but none of that happens if you don't show up. If you keep sleeping on your goals, life keeps moving without you. But when you rise with awareness, when you start your day with the intention to grow, the universe opens doors that fear and laziness keep shut. Most people underestimate how much they can change in a single day. One conversation can change your perspective. One decision can redirect your path. One courageous move can shift your entire future. But that only happens when you show up, fully present, ready to make the most of the hours ahead. The miracle is in the mundane. The power is in the patterns. And the patterns begin the moment you open your eyes and ask yourself, what can I do today to become who I'm meant to be? There will be distractions. There will be setbacks. There will be noise from the outside world trying to pull you away from your vision. But if you wake up with clarity, with purpose, and with the awareness that you've been handed a priceless gift, time, then you protect that gift. You stop giving your hours to meaningless scrolling, to people who don't value you, to fears that don't serve you. You begin to prioritize what matters, because you know that each day is a thread in the story you're writing. And stories are not written by accident. They are written with bold intention. So when the sun rises tomorrow, don't just wake up, show up. Recognize the opportunity right in front of you. Breathe deeply, sit with gratitude, and then move forward, not out of pressure, but out of possibility. You were given this day for a reason. Make it count. Dreams require discipline, not just desire. Everyone wants something, a better life, financial freedom, peace of mind, respect, legacy. But very few are willing to do what it takes to achieve those things. Wanting is easy. Everyone has dreams. Everyone has a vision in their head of the kind of life they'd love to live. But that vision means nothing without the work behind it. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's the thing that turns goals from ideas into results. You can dream about a healthy body, but if you don't get up and move, if you don't control your habits, it's just a fantasy. You can dream of success, but if you sleep in every day, avoid discomfort, and quit when things get hard, you'll stay stuck in the same place. Discipline is showing up when you don't feel like it. It's working on your craft when no one is watching. It's choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. It's refusing to negotiate with weakness. And it's not something you're born with. It's something you build, one decision at a time. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when your emotions scream otherwise. It means setting a standard for yourself that you refuse to lower. People admire greatness, but often ignore the sacrifice it demands. That athlete who stands on the podium, that entrepreneur who builds a legacy, that artist who creates timeless work, they all have one thing in common: ruthless discipline. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's early mornings, it's late nights, it's saying no when everyone else says yes, it's repetition, it's silence, it's patience. Discipline is getting up after failure, again and again without losing faith. It's training your mind to rise above feelings. And those who master discipline master themselves. They don't need perfect conditions. They don't wait for motivation. They work regardless. That's the difference between those who wish and those who win. Wishing feels good. Discipline delivers. Commitment beats motivation. Motivation is a spark. It's that fire you feel when you watch a powerful video, hear a great speech, or read an inspiring quote. But motivation fades. It's unreliable. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world, and other days you feel heavy, tired, doubtful. That's normal. No one feels motivated every day. That's why commitment matters more. Commitment is the engine. Motivation is the fuel, but when the fuel runs out, the engine keeps moving because it's built to run. Commitment is showing up even when the fire's gone. It's trusting the process, trusting yourself, and trusting the outcome even when you don't see the results yet. People who rely solely on motivation are stuck in a cycle of highs and lows. They only move when they feel like it. They only act when it's convenient. But life doesn't reward convenience. Life rewards consistency. Commitment is the decision you make once and then prove every day. It doesn't ask you how you feel. It doesn't ask for your mood or your excuses. It only demands action. The gym, the journal, the meeting, the study session, all of it adds up, even when it feels small, even when it feels slow, because what you do daily is what defines your destiny. There will be days when nothing seems to be working, when progress is invisible, when it feels easier to stop. That's the moment where commitment kicks in. You remember your why. You remember the promise you made to yourself, and you keep going. That's the power of commitment. It carries you through when motivation walks away. You don't need to be inspired every single day. You need to be faithful to the path you chose. Every champion has felt doubt. Every leader has felt tired. Every legend has had moments of fear. But they didn't let those feelings stop them, because feelings are temporary. Discipline and commitment are not. And if you can learn to act without needing to feel inspired first, you become unstoppable. You become reliable. You become dangerous in the best way, because now you're not moved by mood, you're moved by mission. That is where transformation begins. You owe yourself your best, not a version shaped by what others expect, not a version watered down by doubt, not a version that hides behind excuses. The real you, the strongest, most focused, most determined you, is waiting to be unlocked. And the only person responsible for bringing that version to life is you. No one else can do the work for you. No one else can carry your vision. It's your responsibility to rise, to strive, to sharpen, and to become. You can't blame your past, your parents, your environment, or your circumstances forever. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and admit that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the effort you're not giving. Every single day, you're presented with two choices: show up or stay comfortable. Most people choose comfort, and that's why they stay stuck. But you weren't built to live average. You weren't born to simply survive. You were made to grow, to stretch, to climb. The problem is we lie to ourselves to avoid the discomfort of change. We say we're tired. We say we're busy. We say, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow isn't promised. Today is all you have. And the question is, did you give it everything? You owe yourself the discipline to follow through on what you said you would do, when you said you'd start that business, when you said you'd get in shape, when you said you'd be more focused, more grateful, more consistent. Those weren't just words, they were commitments. And every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your confidence. But every time you follow through, you build trust. That trust is what fuels momentum. That momentum is what builds belief. And belief is what takes you from good to great. You owe yourself the ability to walk into a room and not shrink, to know that you're valuable even when no one applauds. You don't need external validation. You don't need people to agree with your vision. What you need is to stop underestimating your own potential. You've been given a mind, a body, a soul, a purpose. Don't waste it trying to fit in. Don't waste it trying to meet someone else's standard. Your best doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up fully with whatever you have and giving it all you've got. Too often, we wait for permission. We wait for the right time, the right people, the right opportunities. But the truth is, you're the permission. You're the green light. Everything you want starts with you saying, I am ready and I am worthy. And from that point forward, you stop playing small. You stop apologizing for trying. You stop hiding your fire. You stop letting fear write your story. Because when you give your best, consistently, relentlessly, without needing a guarantee, something powerful happens. You become undeniable. You owe yourself rest, but not retreat. You owe yourself kindness, but not complacency. You owe yourself honesty to admit when you're slipping, when you're settling, when you're giving less than you know you can. This life isn't a dress rehearsal. This is it. And the clock is ticking. Every hour matters. Every choice shapes your future. Every day you give less than your best is a day you rob your future self of greatness. You've come too far to stop now. You've survived too much to stay silent. You've seen what happens when you play it safe, when you take the easy route, when you let fear whisper in your ear. But now it's time to do something different. Now it's time to show yourself what happens when you commit to excellence, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, when you demand more from your time, your effort, your mind. Because the truth is, no one will ever care about your dream as much as you do. No one will ever work as hard for it as you must. And that's exactly how it should be. You were chosen for your vision. You were given your challenges for a reason. And when you finally step into that reality and give everything you've got, your focus, your discipline, your fire, you'll realize you never needed anyone else's approval. You only needed your own. Start now, even if it's messy. Waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of yourself is a trap. Perfection is an illusion. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you'll spend your whole life watching others live their dreams while you stay frozen by fear and doubt. The truth is, most successful people didn't start with a clear path. They started with confusion, hesitation, and uncertainty, but they still started. They took that first shaky step, not knowing where it would lead, not knowing if they'd fail, not knowing if they'd be judged. And that first step changed everything. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know the entire journey. All you need is enough courage to move forward today. That's how momentum is built. That's how confidence grows. Every time you act in the face of fear, you weaken its grip. Every time you make progress, even if it's small, you prove to yourself that you are capable. But none of that happens if you wait until you feel ready. You will never feel fully ready. You will always have reasons to pause. Start anyway. Starting messy means embracing the awkward. It means your first videos might suck, your first workouts might be sloppy, your first attempt at your dream might fall flat. That's okay. What matters is that you begin. The person who takes imperfect action will always be ahead of the person who waits for perfect timing. Progress loves action, not perfection. You learn by doing, you grow by failing, you discover your strength not in stillness, but in movement. The most important lessons in life don't come from reading or watching. They come from showing up, from trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. No book can teach you the grit that comes from experience. No tutorial can give you the resilience that comes from showing up for yourself again and again. You want to build something great? Then you have to be willing to look foolish at the beginning. You have to be willing to stumble. You have to be willing to start ugly, because starting ugly is better than never starting at all. When you take that leap, everything inside you might scream to stop. Doubt will try to pull you back into your comfort zone. Voices in your head will ask, who do you think you are? But you keep moving, you keep stepping forward, because on the other side of fear is your growth. On the other side of discomfort is your breakthrough. Every single person who achieves something meaningful once stood where you are, unsure, unqualified, uncertain, and they moved anyway. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for someone to validate your dreams. Don't wait for permission. You are the only one who can give yourself the green light. If your heart is pulling you in a direction, follow it. Even if you stumble, even if you feel lost, that pull exists for a reason. It's your inner guide. It's the part of you that knows you are made for more. Listen to it. Honor it. Act on it. You won't get it right the first time. That's not the goal. The goal is to get in the game, to take the leap, to build your muscle of consistency. Each day you choose action over fear, you're rewriting your story. You're proving to yourself that you are no longer held hostage by doubt or perfectionism. You're building habits that will carry you when motivation fades. And those habits will become your foundation, strong, steady, unshakable. There's a reason your dream lives inside you and not someone else. You were chosen for it. But dreams don't work unless you do. You've got to build them with your hands, your effort, your grit. That's why the beginning doesn't need to be impressive. It just needs to be real, raw, honest. You don't need applause in the beginning. You need action. You don't need clarity. You need courage. And courage is something you build in motion and step at a time. Don't let the fear of looking foolish rob you of the life you were meant to live. Let people laugh. Let them question you. Let them misunderstand your journey. None of that matters. What matters is that you're moving. What matters is that you're finally saying yes to the whisper that's been calling you for years. You don't need the perfect beginning. You need a beginning. And the best time to do that is now, even if it's messy. Especially if it's messy. Time is precious and limited. It is the one resource that you can never get back once it's gone. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose friends and make new ones. You can rebuild your body, your career, even your reputation, but you can never get back time. Every second that slips through your fingers is gone forever. That truth alone should light a fire inside you, because no matter where you are in life, time is either working for you or against you. It is either being used to push you closer to your goals or being wasted in silence while your dreams wait for you to wake up. Most people don't treat time with the urgency it deserves. They live like they have forever. They say things like, I'll start tomorrow, I've got time, maybe next year. as if life owes them more opportunities. But life doesn't wait. Time moves forward whether you're ready or not. And every time you choose distraction over discipline, every time you choose comfort over commitment, you lose more of it. You trade the one thing you can't replace for the things that don't matter. That's a dangerous deal, and most people make it daily without even realizing it. Look around at how most people spend their day. Hours are poured into meaningless scrolling, shallow entertainment, gossip, worry, procrastination. They say they don't have time to build their dream, but they somehow have time to binge shows, argue on social media, and waste hours doing nothing of value. The truth is, it's not about having time, it's about making time, prioritizing, choosing what matters over what's easy. Everyone gets the same 24 hours, but not everyone gets the same results, because not everyone uses those 24 hours with the same focus and intention. When you begin to treat time as your greatest asset, everything changes. You stop letting people waste it. You stop giving it to things that drain you. You stop waking up late, coasting through the day with no urgency, no strategy, no passion. Instead, you start owning every hour. You become intentional with your minutes. You set goals for the day, not just the year. You plan, act, and execute, knowing that every small action adds up over time. You don't need to be perfect every day, but you need to be present, locked in, focused, driven by the understanding that time is slipping whether you use it or not. There is a version of you that you haven't even met yet, a stronger, wiser, more fulfilled version. And the only way to become that person is by investing your time wisely. That means cutting out the noise, saying no to distractions, and being ruthless with how you spend your energy. That means asking yourself every day, is what I'm doing right now helping me become who I want to be? If the answer is no, it's time to make a change. Because how you spend your time is how you spend your life. You have goals. You have a vision. But are your daily actions aligned with it? Are you moving toward it, even if just an inch at a time? Or are you watching days, weeks, and months disappear while you plan and wait and hope? Action is the only currency that matters when it comes to time. You cannot buy more of it, but you can multiply its value by using it well. A focused hour is worth more than 10 distracted ones. A day lived with intention is more powerful than a week lived on autopilot. There will come a day when your time runs out. No warning, no second chance. And in that moment, the question won't be how much money you made or how many likes you got. It will be whether you truly lived, whether you showed up fully, whether you gave everything, whether you used your time to build something meaningful, to love deeply, to serve others, to chase your purpose with relentless fire. You don't have forever. You only have now. And if you don't protect your time, the world will steal it from you, little by little, moment by moment, until all you're left with is regret. So the clock is ticking, not in fear, but in urgency, in awareness, in power. The time you have is enough if you use it well. Start owning your hours like your life depends on them, because it does. Struggles are part of growth. They are not interruptions to your path. They are the path. Every successful person has faced pain, setbacks, and moments of doubt that threatened to break them, but they didn't stop. They understood something most people never do. The struggle is shaping them. It's chiseling away weakness, building mental toughness, forging a stronger version of who they are meant to become. Growth is never born in comfort. It is born in fire, in discomfort, rejection, failure, and pain. The people who rise above are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who embraced the storm and kept walking. There is no progress without pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure. Muscles grow when they are torn and rebuilt. Minds sharpen when challenged. When life puts weight on your back, it's not trying to break you, it's training you. It's giving you the strength you didn't know you needed. It's building a foundation of resilience brick by brick. But most people miss that because they see struggle as a sign to quit, not a sign to grow. They run from it. They complain about it. They wish it away. But struggle is not the enemy. Avoiding struggle is. You learn more from your failures than you ever will from your wins. The setbacks teach you patience. The obstacles teach you strategy. The delays teach you endurance. The pain teaches you empathy. Every challenge holds a lesson. And if you're willing to learn, you'll come out better than you were before. But if you resist, if you try to avoid the hard parts, you'll miss the transformation. You'll stay the same, and staying the same is the real failure. You don't become stronger by hoping life gets easier. You become stronger by getting better at handling hard things. There are going to be days when nothing goes right, days when you feel like all your effort is wasted, days when you question why you even started. That's when the voice in your head will whisper, maybe this isn't for you. That's when fear and doubt creep in. But that's also the moment of choice. The moment when you decide who you really are. Do you give up? Do you fold under pressure? Or do you stand up, push forward, and prove to yourself that you are built for this? Because you are. You are more capable than you realize, and the only way to uncover that power is to struggle, to fight, to fail forward. People don't talk enough about how messy growth really is. It's not glamorous. It's not clean. It's lonely. It's painful. Sometimes it's humiliating, but it's also powerful. It's real. It's where you become unshakable. You stop caring about opinions. You stop waiting for approval. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. You become focused, fierce, hungry, and that hunger is what drives you through the hard seasons, the ones where no one claps, no one sees your effort, no one understands your vision. But you keep going because you know that pain today becomes power tomorrow. Struggle builds gratitude. When you've worked for something, when you've earned it through blood, sweat, and tears, you don't take it for granted. You appreciate every inch of progress. You value the journey, not just the destination. The people who rise quickly and effortlessly often fall just as fast because they never built the character needed to sustain success. But when you've crawled through the mud, when you've picked yourself up after failure again and again, you develop something that no shortcut can give you: grit. Grit is what carries you through the times when talent isn't enough, when motivation disappears, when nothing makes sense except your reason to keep going. There's a fire that only comes from being tested. It's a quiet power. It doesn't scream, it doesn't brag, but it shows up, it keeps pushing, it endures, and over time, that endurance becomes your identity. You're no longer defined by what you go through, you're defined by how you respond. That shift is what separates those who live average lives from those who become great. Not because they were born different, but because they chose to grow when it hurt the most. So if you're struggling right now, don't curse it, use it. Let it shape you, let it strengthen you, let it expose the weakness so you can rebuild with something stronger. The storm you're in is not the end, it's part of the transformation. And the pain you feel today is making room for the power that will carry you for the rest of your life. No one is coming to save you. That can be a hard truth to accept, but once you do, it becomes one of the most liberating realizations of your life. For too long, many people wait for a helping hand, for a miracle, for a lucky break, for someone to notice their pain, potential, or promise. But the world doesn't owe you a rescue. It doesn't owe you a favor. Your life is your responsibility. Your growth, your healing, your dreams, your goals, they all belong to you. The moment you stop expecting others to carry you is the moment you begin to walk in your own power. It's tempting to believe that someone else will come and fix everything, that one day the perfect mentor will arrive or the right opportunity will fall into your lap. It's easy to hope that someone will finally recognize what you bring to the table and open the door for you. But the truth is, if you're waiting to be discovered, you'll wait forever. The real power is in creating your own path, in knocking on your own doors, and when they don't open, building your own. You don't need saving. What you need is to believe in your ability to rise. You were born with strength, with resilience, with a mind capable of creating and solving, with a heart that knows how to fight even when it's tired. But if you keep giving that power away, if you keep telling yourself that someone else has to give you permission, that someone else has to fix the broken pieces, you'll stay trapped in the illusion of helplessness. People will support you, some will cheer for you, and some may even walk part of the journey with you, but no one can walk it for you. No one can do your reps. No one can write your book, build your business, repair your relationships, or overcome your demons for you. That's your work. That's your responsibility. And the more you embrace it, the more powerful you become. When you realize that you are the author of your story, everything changes. You stop blaming the world, your parents, your past. You stop waiting for signs. You become the sign. Taking full ownership of your life is not about shame or guilt. It's about empowerment. It's about looking around at everything you've been through and saying, this didn't break me. I'm still here. And now I choose to rise. That's a decision only you can make. No one can make it for you, and no one can take it from you. The strength you need has always been inside you. It's not about discovering something new. It's about remembering who you are. You don't need someone to pull you out of the fire. You need to realize that you've had the tools to survive it all along. You are the hero you've been waiting for. Not the perfect, flawless version, but the real you. The one who's made mistakes, who's been hurt, who's doubted themselves and yet still stands. That version of you is powerful. That version of you is enough. The world doesn't need another person pretending to be saved. It needs someone who steps up, takes charge, and becomes an example of what's possible when you decide to own your life fully. But when you stop waiting for rescue, you start creating results. You stop sitting in silence and start speaking with purpose. You stop playing small and start showing up boldly. You become the person who doesn't just talk about change, you become the one who embodies it. That shift will scare some people. It may even isolate you, but the freedom it gives you is worth everything. Because now you're not waiting for someone to change your life. You're doing it yourself, one action at a time, one step at a time, one choice at a time. You don't need saving. You need a decision to rise, to try again, to take the first step, to keep going even when it's hard. The day you stop waiting for someone else to show you the way and instead become the guide, the warrior, the leader of your own story, that's the day your life begins to change. You are the solution you've been looking for. It starts with you. It always has. You have one shot, one life, one chance to write a story worth remembering. Every breath you take is a gift, and every day you're given is a blank page. What you do with that time matters. So many people drift through life as if they're promised more time, as if they have forever to chase their dreams, fix their mistakes, become who they were meant to be. But they don't. None of us do. Life is short. That's not something to fear. It's something to feel. Because once you feel it, you start living differently. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop waiting to be ready, and you begin. Every decision you make becomes a sentence in your story. Every risk you take, every time you push through fear, every moment you stay committed when quitting would be easier, it all adds up. And over time, that effort becomes your legacy. You don't need to be rich or famous to leave something behind. You just need to be intentional. You need to live each day with the understanding that it counts. As it does, what you do today will echo in your future, not just in what you accomplish, but in who you become. Most people aren't really living, they're just existing, going through the motions, hiding behind routine, numbing themselves with distraction. But deep down, something inside them knows they're meant for more. That whisper, that pull, that longing, it's not random. It's your soul reminding you that time is passing and you've got something inside you that needs to be expressed. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't made to repeat yesterday over and over again. You were made to grow, to stretch, to evolve, and to leave something behind that proves you were here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You just need to stop waiting for the right moment and start moving. Action creates clarity. Motion brings momentum. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you take one step closer to the life you were born to live. That's how greatness is built, not in giant leaps, but in small decisions made daily with heart and intention. And when you string those days together, you create a life that reflects your values, your truth, your fire. People often say, I'll do it later, as if later is guaranteed. But there's no promise of tomorrow. All you really have is now, this moment, this breath, this choice. And when you start seeing life that way as a fragile, powerful, beautiful opportunity, you begin to live with urgency. You begin to stop tolerating what drains you. You begin to speak your mind. You begin to chase the dream that's been sitting in the corner, waiting for your permission. That's when life starts to open up. That's when you realize you were never stuck. You were just afraid to move. Fear is normal. Doubt is natural. But they don't get to make your decisions. You do. And when you decide that your life matters, not someday, but now, everything shifts. You begin to align your actions with your values. You begin to focus on impact, not approval. You begin to chase purpose, not perfection. And suddenly, your days become full, not just of tasks, but of meaning, not just of noise, but of depth. Because now, you're not just alive, you're awake. Every word you speak, every move you make, every time you show up when it's hard, that's you leaving a mark. That's you building a legacy, one choice at a time. And legacy isn't about what people remember when you're gone. It's about what you build while you're here. It's about how you make people feel. It's about the energy you carry into a room, the example you set, the message you live. You don't have to wait until the end of your life to make it meaningful. You can do it now, today, with the decisions you make and the effort you give. So take this life seriously, not with fear, but with respect, not with hesitation, but with hunger. You don't get another version of this life. There's no restart. There's no alternate timeline where you try harder, love deeper, dream bigger. This is it. This is your moment. This is your time. Make it count. Live loud. Stand tall. Be bold enough to write the kind of story only you can tell, because that's what you were made to do.